Just a few days ago, Legendary Pictures dropped the teaser trailer for their upcoming 2024 sequel to the monster blockbuster Godzilla vs. Kong. And I made a teaser analysis and theory video discussing the possibilities of who that mysterious orangutan-like titan could be. In that exact same video, I even discussed the possibilities of some old fan-favorite titans returning to the monsterverse. And in the ending of that video, I asked you all to drop your own theories and thoughts on the teaser down in the comment section below. And you people did not disappoint, since I have some extremely interesting theories by you guys which I'd like to discuss in this video. Now all the theories are absolutely amazing, but the third one is my personal favorite, so stay in tune for that. So without any further ado, like the video, share and subscribe, and let's jump right into your theories. Our first theory is from John Morrison. John says, "Personally, I think Batra should be the main villain, considering the idea of a greater threat being deep beneath Hollow Earth. A giant energy-absorbing cocoon would make more sense, and the crash between Kong and Godzilla forced its awakening." Thank you for your comment, John. Batra in the Monsterverse sounds absolutely dope as hell. And for those of you who don't know, Batra is basically a demonic, divine-like creature, which is basically the opposite of Mothra. Batra is a bigger and way more powerful version of Mothra. He can shoot lightning bolts from his horn as well as laser-like beams from his eyes. John's theory actually has some solid ground to stand on in the Monsterverse. Since if you remember one particular news article shown in the credit scene of Godzilla King of the Monsters, which hinted at a second egg. Now the subtitle for that article in particular itself says that it could possibly be a second Mothra egg. And I know that it has a way higher possibility of being a second Mothra egg rather than a Batra egg. Still, it's fun to discuss at the least. We know from past experience that the Monsterverse tends to change the origin stories of its iconic monsters in order to fit them all into one single continuous timeline, in one unified universe which can contain both the leads, Godzilla and Kong. So what if, as John says, Godzilla and Kong's battle in Godzilla vs. Kong caused some sort of disruption in the Hollow Earth energy, leading to a mutation in the Mothra egg, which then leads to the formation of Batra, a way more powerful version of Mothra, which is even faster than Rodan, coming in at Mach 3. That certainly would be amazing to see on the big screen. But could Batra really possess a threat to Godzilla and Kong? I personally don't think that Batra could be powerful enough to be that big of a threat to Godzilla as well as Kong, two alpha titans at the same time, since we know that Godzilla and Kong both combined in their weakened states were able to battle and defeat Mechagodzilla with some mid difficulty. Batra in the Monsterverse would need to be at least as powerful as King Ghidorah to possess any sort of threat to Godzilla and Kong. But I can't wait to see Batra's design in the Monsterverse. I really want him to show up because the Monsterverse absolutely nails the new designs of their iconic monsters. Before we jump to our next theory though, I'd like to quickly point out that 93% of you watching are not subscribed to the channel. Hitting the subscribe button is free and it encourages me to make more content. So please subscribe to the channel and like and share this video. Now back to our theories. Our next theory comes from Nestor Escamilla, and I'm sorry if I didn't say your name properly. Nestor says, "I would love Destoroyah or Space Godzilla. Please Legendary, I don't want this orangutan titan to be the villain. Please, Space Godzilla, Destoroyah or Biollante. Please make one of these three the main villain." Well, thank you so much for your comment, Nestor. And in my previous video, I've already discussed the possibilities of Biollante and Destoroyah showing up in the Monsterverse. I would love them both to show up, but not so soon. But when it comes to Space Godzilla, is Space Godzilla even possible in the Monsterverse? Well, yes, Space Godzilla could possibly be in the Monsterverse, since Space Godzilla is an alien, an outside creature, a duplicate of Godzilla. And we know that aliens do exist in the Monsterverse, since Ghidorah himself is a Hydra creature out of this world. So we do have proof of aliens existing in the Monsterverse, but could Space Godzilla show up? Well, Space Godzilla is one of those unrealistic parts which would have a hard time existing in the Monsterverse. And I don't think that the Monsterverse will bring in yet another duplicate of Godzilla just after Mechagodzilla showed up in their previous movie. Space Godzilla is a huge threat in the Godzilla franchise and would definitely be more than a match for Godzilla and Kong combined. And just imagine Space Godzilla's epic design in the Monsterverse. With modern CGI and VFX, he would look absolutely terrifying. Comment down below if you would like to see Space Godzilla in the Monsterverse sometime soon. Our next theory comes from Spider ENT. I think Ghidorah is the villain again. Ghidorah is taking over the dead bodies of the Godzilla specimens and Kong specimens, and it's possible since he was able to take over Mechagodzilla. The one in the picture could be an unknown specimen in the movie who dies and Ghidorah takes over him. There will be two human sides, one learning with the Kongs before the specimen one dies, and the stupid ones who try and kill Godzilla, causing a neuralink. The glowing eyes are blue because I heard when someone dies, their eyes become a blue greyish color, and that's a dead Kong's eyes with light coming out showing Ghidorah has taken over, and the Godzilla and Kong skulls are in the process of somehow coming back into a skeleton form of Godzillas and Kongs, or ones with their flesh, skin and fur. So basically it will be a new empire of Ghidorah controlled by Godzillas and Kongs. Spider, that is definitely one of the most creative theories I've heard on this teaser yet. I really appreciate the amount of thought you have put into it. So could the three-headed Golden King return yet again? Ghidorah has proven to be a returning villain in the Godzilla franchise over and over again. Whether it be as himself, as Mechagodzilla, as Kaiser Ghidorah, whatever, he keeps coming back. And as Spider's theory suggests, some humans yet again might be trying to attack Godzilla, causing some sort of neural link between Ghidorah's existing skull and the ancient skulls of the Godzilla and Kong specimens which we see in the teaser. He suggests this is an ancient or dead Kong who has Ghidorah's consciousness in it. That is why his eyes are bluish grey. And although that theory is certainly very interesting, I don't think that the dead body of the ancient Kong specimen would be fully intact after so many million years. It would have dissolved in the ground. But one point I can add to this theory that I think has a higher possibility of being a reality is that Apex learnt that Mechagodzilla, who was Godzilla's superior, was definitely more powerful than Godzilla, was beat by a Kong. They might have researched the battle between the Godzilla and Kong species and found out, like I theorized in my previous video, that the Kong species were the ones who actually won the entire war. So take that research into account and add it with the fact that Kong was the one who was able to beat Mechagodzilla. So taking all that into account, Apex could conclude that a genetically engineered Kong who has Ghidorah's consciousness and his fighting knowledge could be the true superior to Godzilla as well as Kong. And we know for a fact that Apex does have the genetic engineering capabilities that can enable them to create a superior version of existing titans. Just as we saw with the Skullcrawler in GVK. That Skullcrawler who was ruthlessly killed by Mechagodzilla was at the least 2 times bigger than the big one we saw in Kong Skull Island. They could use the DNA of the ancient Kong species from their bones and grow and create a Kong themselves, the one we see in this teaser. And our final theory of the day is by MVSMD Goji Edits. Seems like the new titan sitting on the throne might be an ancestor of Kong and be the ruler of Hollow Earth. It's an ancient titan killer who helped to kill Godzillas and then killed his own kinds. He definitely is radioactive and could have electronic powers. He has Gojira's fin axe too, discovering that the threat he might be taller than Kong, not as Goji, and like much faster, smarter and agile than Kong, or he has a beam like the G-Man. Thank you so much Goji Edits. Well, the idea of a fire-breathing Kong sounds terrifyingly amazing, and as Goji suggests, this is an ancient Kong who betrayed his own kind in the Godzilla and Kong war, which is a very real possibility as he is surrounded by skulls and bones of both the Godzilla and Kong species. Knowing that it would have been impossible to have a single alpha rule over all the titans when there were 2 gigantic and powerful species alive, knowing that the war will cause severe casualties on both sides of the Godzillas as well as the Kongs. As soon as the Kongs beat the Godzillas in the war, he betrayed his own kind, backstabbed them and reigned supreme as the only Alpha Titan to rule them all. It's even scary to think how twisted and evil this Kong species sounds to be in this theory, and he could possibly return as the main villain of this movie. Who knows? Only time will tell when the movie comes out. Thank you all so much for these amazing theories in the comments and the love you have showered for my teaser analysis video. If I find any new comments and theories, I shall definitely make a follow-up video to this one, discussing even them. And if we get any sort of leak or information or news related to the Monsterverse and Godzilla x Kong, I shall make videos covering even that. Subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to get the notifications whenever I post those videos in the future. Until then, you can watch my teaser analysis and theory video on the Godzilla x Kong teaser. Or if you like video game movies, then you'd like to see my review on the Super Mario Bros movie. I put the links on your screen right now. So like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.